Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer so far. I know I sure am. Here in Windsor, Ontario, reputably one of the hottest and most humid places in Canada, we have had a pretty mild summer so far. We haven't seen too many days that have hit over 90, which has been a blessing because if you guys are familiar, if you follow my blog or whatever, you know that 2 months from today, actually, I'll be flying to Ireland for a 2-year working holiday. And one of the main motivating factors for going there was getting away from summer because I have dealt with enough summers here and I hate them. And their summer, albeit it does rain quite a bit more than it does here, it's also significantly cooler, which is something that entices me greatly. So definitely looking forward to that. I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the animal news recap direction, although I do have a few stories that I'm working on right now, and I'm hoping to have another animal news recap for you guys in the next couple weeks. This video is actually kind of like a little bit of a debate. Something that I read and then started posing the question to like friends and family and coworkers, and I wanted to get their opinions. And interestingly enough, there was a lot of different answers to the same question, which was kind of why I wanted to film this video and kind of speak a little bit on both sides and then kind of give my opinion and then engage you guys to, leave your comments and posts or whatever on the blog or here on the video itself in the comment section below. Okay, let's just dive right in. So a few weeks ago, Miley Cyrus, who I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with, she's a big advocate for a variety of, causes. One of the biggest would be her involvement in animal rights and animal welfare. And she came out and said that somebody who claims to love animals but still eats them or wears them, they don't love animals, that they love pets. And upon reading this, it really got my, motor running, got the gears turning, and really made me start to kind of have a debate within myself. And then, as I said, I posed the question to coworkers, friends, family, just to get their opinions. And interestingly enough, as I said, there were so many different answers to that question, which is why I thought it'd be super fun to discuss. Let's just start right off with why I don't agree with that statement, and here's why. If you look at a veterinarian, for example, a veterinarian spends 50% of their life caring for animals, rehabilitating animals, treating animals, looking out for their well-being, etc., etc. They devote their life to the well-being of animals. So, can you is it safe to say that they're all vegetarians and vegans? Likely not. So, okay, that's the first example. Second example would be like a firefighter. A firefighter will go back into a burning building to save an animal any day, especially at the family's request, but also just knowing that there's an animal in there who could potentially suffer, they will make the effort to go back in, putting their lives at risk and, for the sake of an animal. They may also go home and eat a steak afterwards. So when you look at that aspect of things, can you say that a veterinarian does not love animals because they go home and they eat them, or they go home and they wear them? And I think it's unfair to say that they do not love animals because they devote much of their life to taking care of them. Okay. The statement "I love animals" is super general. I mean, it doesn't really necessarily like put out there as to like your devotion to animals, how much you love animals. Do you love animals enough to not wear them? Do you love animals enough to not eat them? Do you just love playing with them? Do you love looking at them at the zoo or at places like SeaWorld? How do you love animals, right? So it's unfair, I think, to come out and, really attack that statement. But also, I have to partly agree with Miley when somebody who comes out and genuinely claims to care about animals, but then still eats them and wears them and contributes to their, to their poor animal welfare and whatever else. I think it's a bit of a hypocrisy when you look at it from that angle. Okay, me, for example, I say every day how much I love animals. I come on here and I do videos like this. I do my animal news recaps where I'm like commenting on problems within the animal industry and, offering suggestions and solutions to these problems because it's coming from a place where, of genuine care for animals. I live a vegetarian lifestyle. I'd say, like 4 out of 7 days a week, I'm vegan, and the other 3 I'm vegetarian. I have made an effort to reduce my dairy consumption by making dairy-free alternatives, and swaps in my diet in an effort to reduce the amount of dairy that I consume. Now, I feel confident when I say I love animals, that I sincerely do, and that I make an effort to prove that by living the lifestyle that I've chosen to live. So, when you come out and say I love animals, but you still eat them, but you still wear them, you're being extremely hypocritical. But I don't believe you're being hypocritical intentionally. I personally think that when you say you love animals, you might truly believe that, but it's coming from an ignorant, it's coming from a place of being completely ignorant. Okay. And, when you look at an animal advocate or people in these, groups like Mercy for Animals or PETA, or, these are people who devote their lives to fighting for, animal rights and animal welfare and etc. So for them to say they love animals, nobody would question that. But when you're a meat-eating, fur-wearing, dog-fighting animal lover, you're gonna open yourself up to being attacked by people, like myself or like Miley, who will come out and say, well, it's impossible to love animals but still contribute to their slaughter. So on that end of the thing, the scale, when you look at, I truly believe that somebody who says they love animals may truly believe that they do love animals. But as I said, they're loving animals ignorantly because they're turning their backs on the struggles that animals currently face within these industries. So, I would say, and this is like a shout out to anyone who's in that position right now who loves animals, but they haven't really taken the opportunity to really educate themselves, okay? There are so many resources out there, as I said, with PETA, with Mercy for Animals, with the ASPCA, with Humane Society, all of these organizations that devote their lives to helping animals. If you're somebody out there who says, I love animals, but you're not backing that statement up by your actions, this is an opportunity to really educate yourself. And then, in my opinion, somebody who says they love animals, once they take the time to research, the conditions that these animals live in slaughter facilities or fur farming, or once you take the opportunity to educate yourself about the atrocities that happen, with poaching and the seal hunt and, the dog festival in China and all of these awful things that are happening to animals, I truly feel like upon educating yourself, you'll have a better understanding of, what's happening in the world of animals. And then I think, somebody who truly believes they love animals will take the opportunity to perhaps make some changes in their, their current lifestyle. I think it's unfair to ostracize somebody who claims to love animals but still eats them or wears them. And the reason I think that is unfair is because, I have faced, since starting my blog and, joining several social medias like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and now YouTube and everything else, there's always somebody out there who will criticize you for what you haven't done versus your achievements, to date. Just recently I had somebody who, took the opportunity to congratulate me on, putting these videos out, but also take the opportunity to condemn the fact that I still consumed dairy. So I feel like, first of all, when it comes to spreading a message and you wanting your message to be well received, especially when it comes to a message like this, where you're hoping to have somebody change their entire life, as far as their day-to-day lives, having to make a lifestyle change like that. When you come at somebody in an aggressive manner, or, attack them, or, ostracize their life choices and whatever else, your message is not well received. And people oftentimes will turn their backs on messages like that, because the negativity surrounding the message is enough to have somebody say, I don't want to engage in that. And that is one of the biggest problems I find within the vegan, vegetarian, group, is that everyone is so quick to criticize one another, when in all reality, we should be celebrating the successes that we have, accomplished thus far. And the same goes for, people who claim to love animals. Instead of, coming out and saying, you don't love animals, blah, blah, blah. This is an opportunity to say, well, loving animals is so much more than liking them, or, etc., playing with them or whatever else. Loving animals is supporting their welfare, their, supporting animal rights. It's engaging in, picketing and protests and signing the petitions. It's so much more than just loving animals. Then this is an opportunity to really educate those people and say, like, well, you love animals. Here's a few articles I think you should read. Give them the opportunity, give these people the opportunity to better understand their, that's to say, I love animals. Give them the opportunity to really educate themselves. And then I truly believe that those people who say they love animals but are still engaging in those activities, I feel like once they educate themselves, they will be able to, take that statement and back it up by making those lifestyle changes. And, as I said, there's a debate on either side of the scale, and it's unfair, I think, for any of us to criticize somebody who says they love animals, but it's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity to, it's like an open door. You're saying, I love animals. Well, this is an opportunity for someone like myself, or someone like, even Miley Cyrus, to suggest ways to love animals just a little bit more. Instead of saying you don't love animals, come out and give them some more reason to love animals. When I first became a vegetarian, I loved animals, but I didn't understand, why I was doing what I was doing, aside from the fact that I didn't want to eat meat. And after I educated myself, my passion for animal rights really grew. I went to these websites, I learned more about what was going on in the industry, and, that love for animals really grew into what it is today. And this is what I'm saying. If we take the opportunity to provide these people with the resources, as I said, they might love animals, but they're doing so ignorantly. And it's our chance to really educate them and give them the resources they need to wholeheartedly love animals, as opposed to just saying something like that but not backing it up. So definitely want to hear you guys' opinions. Do you think it's possible to love animals but contribute to the meat industry or the fur industry or any of that? What do you think? Obviously, as I said, my opinion is, I do believe you can say you love animals, and I do believe you can mean it, but if you're not backing it up by your actions, then it's extremely hypocritical. And, I think it's unfair. Again, it's unfair for someone like myself to attack somebody for saying they love animals. I don't think that that's the right approach. But what do you guys think? Do you know somebody, is there someone in your life who says they love animals, but then they go home and, nosh on, a batch of wings? How do you feel about that? I think this is a super fun topic to debate. And as I said, the more people that I've spoken to, the more answers that I'm getting to this question. So take the opportunity. As I said, leave your comments in the comment section below. Check out my other animal rights videos, learn a little bit more. Take the opportunity to learn. The more you learn, the more passionate you become about something. And I truly believe that somebody who says they love animals and really means it, this is an opportunity to provide them with the materials they need to back up that statement. So, again, ask your friends and family, get the conversation started, find out, as I said, you'll get so many different answers to the same question. And that's what makes this topic so very interesting, is that you can have two different sides of the story. Neither one is necessarily right, but there's an opportunity here to really help these people who love animals really understand what loving animals really encompasses. It's not just loving to look at them, loving to play with them. It's it's about engaging in their rights and wanting them to be treated better, wanting their, the conditions in which they're housed and, in factory farms and fur farms. It's about wanting those things to be held to a higher standard and wanting to see that animal welfare, the rights that the animals have improve in every aspect. So again, tell me what you guys think about this. Do you think you can love animals and still eat them? Do you think you can love animals and still wear them? Is it hypocritical? Do you agree with me that it's coming from like an ignorant place and they just need to be educated? What's your opinion? So again, leave your comments. Make sure to check out my other videos and, visit the blog, happyveggie.weebly.com, everything vegetarian. I've got it going on. And make sure to engage this conversation with as many people as you can, because I think you'll be quite surprised at the responses that you'll get. And also, it might be an opportunity to educate that one person who loves animals but hasn't taken that step. It might be your opportunity to slip in the right amount of material to get them on our side. So take care. I'll be back with another video in about a week, and look forward to my next animal rights recap, which will be out in the next week or so.